All right, Brian, Indiana Creek Gold, poison ivy. The rain is chasing us. We camped out last night outside of town here, and was going to metal detect out there for a while this morning and then come prospect, but said it was going to rain, and it's still showing a pretty good glob of rain heading our way. Of course, the rain man is slightly in front of me here. So Memorial Day weekend went sort of slow so far. High water, we couldn't get into basically any place that we wanted to go. I put out a little bit of video. Richard went and poked around up at the big water yesterday while I hung out at the campground with wife and dogs, and had a daughter stop by, and then son came out later and brought some more firewood and stuff. So but yeah, weather and effects from weather last week has sort of put us in a bind. But you can still barely see the cabin there through the trees. But me and Richard are making the big trip down here to the claim, and lots of water. I got springs. I got five different that we've located, springs coming out of the hillside up here. So there's water runs down through here year round. Animals love it. I just nonstop when I got my trail cam on right there of every critter in the woods. I've had coyotes stop and drink, the bobcats stop and drink, rabbits are out here all the time, coons, deer, the turkey. I like that spring water. Not got all the additives, fertilizer, stuff like that the creek water's got in it, obviously. So we're going to try to do something. Nothing else will be high banking. Richard didn't bring his waders. I don't have any. It's 60 degrees outside. The water's probably 45, 50 degrees. So we're not going to be down on our knees and chest deep in the water dredging like we usually are. No wetsuits here. So we're going to adapt to the current situation and do what we can. By golly, we know we can shovel dirt and high banker. Of course, that's involved getting pretty much soaking wet too, usually. But and she brought the weed eater down here with us, huh, Richard? And the chainsaw, cut this whole damn tree up. Getting a little bushy here at the staging area. I usually keep this all nice and trimmed down, and should have just camped here, would have been easier. So we're gonna try to figure out something. Like I said, we know we can shovel. So, and this whole bank's full of gold, but once you go down there, you're a couple, 2 or 3 foot, you're sitting on bedrock, and then you can clean the bedrock up with the dredge. So like I said, it's a little cool to be laying down in that water. So Rain Man brought the cool weather and the sporadic rain. So let's get figured out what we're going to do, get set up, and we'll be back. Hey, look at there. Pretty cold to get down in there. I'm already soaking wet though, water down inside my boots, just getting things going. So boots are horrible for feeding the high banker, which is what I'm about to do. My back's hurting just watching Richard bending over that dredge nozzle. But we're going, finally. Hope everybody's doing good this Memorial Day weekend. It's Sunday. Finally actually running, sort of serious. And we're going to see what's going on. The pump was a little contrary for some reason. I don't know what happened to that, but it just started up. It's usually a first full thing. But we had to drag it out of the sled, mess with it a little bit, but it's purring right along now. Richard said he's got suction. We redid the hoses the other day up on the deck. Looking like it's chugging right along good. He's getting ready for stickers put on. Old Indiana Boy Prospecting Club Grid. With my Indiana Creek Gold stickers freaking junk. Look at that thing peeling off there. Evening Christmas. One up there sounds good. But yeah. Cloudy afternoon under a camo moon, and we're looking for some gold. We shall return. Oh, I saw that. I'm gonna dig right here. Dug all this out already, found a bunch high banking. John R. dug, I think right over there, found a bunch high banking last year. So, Richard's on the nozzle, I'm on the shovel, getting ready to get soaking ass wet. We're gonna have to be breaking down grass roots and stuff, so yeah, I'm gonna get soaked. It's gonna be full of water here shortly, but hopefully it'll be worth it. We're gonna get with it. I don't have my camera stand down here, so I'm limited on the live action stuff I'm gonna be able to do shoveling. But we'll get some camo moon action, I'm sure. Richard on the nozzle, and we'll keep you posted. Thanks for hanging out this wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Hope y'all are having a good one. I'll show you what we got going on here. Rain Man on the nozzle. Richard's sucking today. So we got plenty of suction. But right here is what I'm doing. Digging out this right here. And put it in. These are pockets of clay. Right in there. You can see that. Got a bunch of iron in it. But that's what I'm getting into. When I hit one of those pockets, I gotta break it up into there. But this is ancient, there's pockets of dry sand and stuff in there too. But this is old ancient riverbed, all down through here, this whole open valley. And this is what ended up the current, after everything lined out after glaciers and all that other stuff. This part is eroded down to bedrock, earth shell or clay, all down through here, or within a couple foot of it. Which that's what's underneath this too, is bedrock, 3 foot down. So I'm gonna try to get this cleaned off around these two big rocks, and if they're movable, see if me and Richard, after we get it cleaned off, can move them out of the way where we went around these, and then we can dredge down here like this. I'm literally standing on bedrock beside some silt and stuff that's filled in from flooding this last year. But good, you can see that real dry pocket right there. And then the clay pockets in there. It's getting a little bit of everything. I think this material up in here is where I was finding the emeralds last year. I've been gold chains, piece of sterling silver watch fob, old one, Indian head penny, some other stuff found in here. So good stuff. The old bridge they tore down, quit using, I think in the 20s, 30s over there. And right there was the wagon trail where they crossed the exposed bedrock through here before the bridge. They probably used it with the bridge there too. So there's all kinds of stuff down through here. And then we got the vault up there, sending us gold. So I'm sure y'all can't hear me for crap. So I'm gonna get off here. Rich is probably wondering what the hell he's working and I'm walking around talking. So let me get the shoveling some more and we shall return. Alright, now I need to get back to shoveling. Richard's dredging, and I'm the one soaking wet. You know, I talked about there was bridges here and whatnot, and you never know what you get into, and hopefully I don't drop my phone in my hand. There we go. But looky here. On the back side of this rock, I got into some bunch of loose shell and big cobble. Look what I just unearthed. Hopefully we don't find a foot to go along with this thing. Oh, it's gone. Ain't that something? But yeah, there's a bunch of good cobble and rocks and flaked off bedrock in between these two big rocks and back in behind it. So I'm gonna finish getting that cleaned off. Probably go ahead and cut some more of this bank off so we can get behind that rock there. That way we can clean underneath them. I don't know about moving that big son of a bitch. But yeah, we'll try to get these out of the way, get them cleaned off, and hopefully there's gold underneath them and not a skeleton. Two foot down. Alright, we'll shut her down for a little break here. But yeah, once I busted through this opening right here, it's really hard to dig because it's full of busted off layers of bedrock that's shoved up in there and a bunch of cobble up in there. Big old globs of clay that suck working through. A whole lot of rocks. clean out pretty good. I'm not seeing any chunkers right off the bat, but usually don't. I do see a speck right there. I don't know if I can zoom it in. Can you see it shining or not? But it's sitting right off the. And there you can see it. With a light on, it's reflecting off of it. There's another couple pieces up in there, small stuff. Hey, we got gold in the box. It's really little gold, but hopefully there's some more. So we're gonna take a little break and snack stack, get a drink, probably fuel up body and equipment. We shall return. Oh, my back's stiff. Shouldn't sit down. I'm gonna try and hold on here and show you what we're doing here. It's pretty obvious sort of what we're doing, but so I'm getting into a bunch of cobble. Weird bunch of clay. You gotta work that clay down every time, which ain't real easy. One-handed here for the most part. It'll clean itself off. You got those wads of clay in there that need to be broke up. Moving lots more material this way. One person on the shovel, one on the nozzle. And this is actually probably the easiest prospecting for me. Go at your own pace, not a bunch of bending over. High banking where we're toting buckets and dumping buckets in there, that's another story. But you can be pretty close to it, it's pretty alright. Water is super cold. Like hand hurts for a while and then just sort of gets numb. But see that all that clean cobble down there in that pocket. So I'm gonna get both hands going here. Let's see how I can clean this off. See if I can find the back of this rock so we can move it and get to the good stuff. Hopefully we've got a little bit of gold in there besides the micro gold we see is shining. Camo moon. You know it. I got that all way cleaned out. That there is the rock that was there. There's a hole that goes down a low spot right there. Went back into the bank quite a bit. This is my separate tailing pile here of just stuff, big stuff I chucked off my shovel as we were going. So you can see I did from wrist hand down to bedrock, maybe 3 feet. That's a have oh yeah, more of that virgin bank stuff there. That's what we like. That's what we're talking about. Hopefully, we got the shit. A little chilly. But all in all, pretty decent day. It's sprinkled a couple times. Moved quite a bit of material, as you can see there. That's 12 foot, probably, there. Get this cleaned up, probably down to bedrock good. I don't know, Rick would probably say too off late. He's been down here for several days and got a long drive back ahead of him. So, yeah, we'll be cleaning up here shortly. Clean the grizzlies off. Down there on the bottom, he's sucking a bunch of the leaves and stuff off that washed into the edge of that. Ah! That was cold down in my boot. Right down in there. Moving a lot of material. Cottonwood trees. Big old sycamore trees there. Squirrels go across there. I see them all the time when I'm hunting right here. Always going, that's how they cross the creek there. Alright, I'm going to put my phone down for a dropping. We'll be back. Oh, here I was chit-chatting in my video. Wasn't even started, I wasn't even recording. We shut her down. Getting late, getting cold. And we uncovered another giant ash rock just sitting on bedrock. So, like I said, this is virgin stuff that ain't seen fresh water in hundreds or thousands of years or longer. So, Richter said he's seen some gold in the mat. So, I would think that there ought to be something in there somewhere. If I was a piece of gold, I'd want to be in there, wouldn't you, Richard?
Yeah. Set me free.
Yeah. So we'll wash her down and take a peek. Alright, so we cleaned up. We dumped most of the cons in the bucket already, and left what was in the corner in there. So we're gonna try to have a look-see. Probably should have swapped bucket or hands, but that's all right. We're just seeing if there's any easy visible gold. And so wraps up our day. But we got a hell of a tailing pile going down the creek. Big old pile that came off the grizzlies. Richard got a big old pile there. And then we got this over here all cleaned off, ready to dredge. Sweep the floor. Cut back a little bit more of that. Lots of heavies, it seems.
No, just put it back.
Tap, tap. Yep, up in the corner there. And we'll see what we got.
A lot of nails in there.
A lot of metal.
And bullets.
That's a good sign usually. There's a piece right there.
Yep.
Right on top. Another piece right there. Lots of lead.
Oh yeah, look, coming up.
Look at that. Oh, freaking yeah. Is that a piece of gold? Oh yeah, nice lake. That's a nice lake. More popping out right there. Yeah.
That's a nice one right there. See it? Right up, nice flake.
Oh yeah.
That's almost it's a feeler.
Yeah, it's pretty flat. Oh yeah. On the gold. On it.
Yeah.
Look at that stuff floating.
Yeah.
Floating like a canoe. That place got a little character to it, doesn't it? A bunch more right along there. Nice flake coming up through there. Looky there.
Yeah, it's sitting all in this corner up here.
That's what we're talking about. Alright, I'm gonna let Richard grab his phone so he can get some video. Alright. We washed a bunch down in here in the pan. As you can see, everything's blurry. Looky there. Looky freaking there. There's a nice flake right there. But there's gold all over this pan. Like I said, a bunch of it slid down already. A few little chunky pieces there. And that one's got, that's pretty thin, isn't it? You can feel it. Some of those are chunkers. And all that fine gold. Not a bad cleanup for what, a couple hours running?
It wasn't that one.
Yeah. So 2025 dredge season has started. Thanks for tagging along, y'all. We'll be seeing a cleanup on Richard's channel because I'm sure there's a bunch more gold that we missed. Especially seeing all that flower gold. I bet we scooped out all kinds of it. So, yeah, we might have had a $1/4 gram day. Getting a few more of them big pieces. Maybe a little more to get all them finds out of there. Cool. Alright everybody, I hope y'all are having a good Memorial Day weekend. It's a Monday. Rain Man went home last night. We did pretty good over the hill dredging. Back and hips are killing me today. But all in all, it was a good weekend. Like I said, we had high water. We couldn't do what we wanted to do, but we got along. Found a little bit of gold there at the end. So I just wanted to wrap this up. Say thanks to Richard for coming down. Apologize to y'all over in Ohio. We didn't make it over there. Would have loved to went over and met some new people and hung out with some folks that we did know. But that didn't happen. But like I said, we made the best of it. Most of all, remember what the weekend's for. Folks that have gave the ultimate sacrifice defending our country. So take a little time, give a little thought to that, and recover. The week's about to start. Hope y'all have a good one, and we'll be seeing you on the water soon.